A corruption scandal suspended council members and immediate consequences. Plans to protect thousands of Jacksonville's homeless are now on hold.
And this after the bill's sponsor, Katrina Brown, faces dozens of fraud and money laundering charges. First Coast News' Eric Alvarez is live tonight outside City Hall, where homeless advocates say innocent neighbors are now paying the price. Eric?
Yeah, now the Homeless Bill of Rights would allow homeless men, women, and families to sleep in their cars. It would protect them from job discrimination. It would even make it easier for them to register to vote. But for now, it seems those protections have to be put on hold. In the shadow of City Hall, men and women without a home of their own gather at Hemming Park. Some to enjoy the music or the shade, others to seek help from the city-funded nonprofit Friends of Hemming Park.
Approximately 56 people have been housed under our tenure.
In the group's office just a few yards away, social services manager Adwan Whitfield connects on a personal level.
I was homeless for about 10 months, sleeping out in the streets of Jacksonville, sleeping, in Hemming Park.
On Monday, he learned a proposal to help those in similar circumstances is stalling in the city council.
All I can think of is all of my clients that I serve now, like their lives are in the balance because of politics.
On Friday, the governor suspended council member Katrina Brown following dozens of mail fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering charges. She sponsored the Homeless Bill of Rights in April, ensuring 11 protections for Jacksonville's homeless, including a right to a reasonable expectation of privacy and
the right to live in your car, basically.
In Brown's absence, Jason Teal of the Office of General Counsel discussed the ordinance at a committee meeting Monday, where city leaders tapped the brakes.
Since the sponsor's not here, so we're going to defer 2018-308.
Brown will remain suspended until further notice, and she may not be reinstated at all pending the criminal case against her. Whitfield hopes the Homeless Bill of Rights finds support somewhere else inside City Hall.
There should be a city council member that picks up that. I think that's a very important bill.
Now, Whitfield tells me he plans to contact a number of other council members about this Homeless Bill of Rights. Live at City Hall, Eric Alvarez, First Coast News, on your side.